All glories to the dear son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. All the three worlds offer prayers unto his lotus feet. In Nilachal he holds the conch shell, disc, club and lotus flower, while in the town of Nadia he holds the sannyasi staff and water pot. It is said that in olden times as Lord Ramachandra, he killed the demon Ravana. Then later as Lord Krishna, he revealed the splendorous opulent pastimes of Goloka. Now he has come as Lord Gauranga, the fair-skinned incarnation endowed with the ecstatic mood of Sri Radha, and has spread widely the chanting of the holy names Hare Krishna. Vasudev Ghosh says with folded hands, he who is Gaura is he who is Krishna, is he who is Jagannath. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. Panchatattvaakmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Adakanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Pranamami Hari Priye Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we have assembled today to discuss on this Sunday Feast program the activity of our Sunday Feast program is very wonderfully explained in this beautiful sloka. Srinvitha Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaschu Abhadrani Vidyanoti Shrustitam Matchita Madagada Prana Bodhyantascha Parasparam Kathyantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanticha Ramanticha. So in these beautiful slokas which glorify the importance of discussing about Krishna Katha, the second verse that we narrated describes the activities of devotees. What do they do when they are together? Machita madagada prana bodhyantascha parasparam. That the devotees bodhyantascha parasparam, that they tell each other about Krishna, about me. And any activity that we do, there has to be some result. And we can do activity when we know the result with much more enthusiasm. If we don't know the result, then we might not do that activity with that much enthusiasm. So Krishna says, what is the result of this activity? When devotees sit together and instruct each other about Krishna, the two things that happen, tushyanticha ramanticha, that the devotees become very satisfied and blissful, happy, ramanti. So as per the series of that our temple has so wonderfully taken to discuss about the incarnations. And for the last couple of weeks, we have been discussing about the various incarnations. So wonderful. The Lord coming in different incarnations as a wonderful actor. You know, actor comes in different forms to do pastimes. And the supreme actor, Lord Krishna, the reason why he does these beautiful pastimes, and it comes in different forms. Just imagine if you had the same person coming all the time. It is nice, but different people have different flavors where they like to see, right? So Krishna is his pastime is very conjugal type pastime, Leela Purushottam. But there are some people who like to see ferociousness. They want to see blood, or they want to see some fight. So Krishna has to satisfy everybody's desires. Because I have been fulfilling everyone's desires since time immemorial. So Krishna comes as Narsingadev, and we discuss his pastime of Narsingadev. He comes as Varadev, he comes as Parshuram, which is really a bloody incarnation. It's all about blood. Blood in the right sense. Okay. So today, it's the last, of course, Krishna is, I said that there are millions of incarnations with the Lord, just like waves in the ocean. How many waves are there in the ocean? Millions of waves. So Krishna comes in millions of incarnations, but of which the 10 are the most important. That was what we discussed. Last Sunday we took the fountainhead of all incarnations, Krishna. But today we are going to discuss about Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a beautiful verse which explains Anarpita charim chirat karuna utirno kalo samapayatum unnatu jala rasam sabhaktim shriya Hari purata sundara duti kanda masadipita sadha hridaya kandare sprutva sachinandana. This is the fourth verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Is that right? Fourth verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Gauranga Priya Prabhu? Fourth verse? Adi Leela, I think. Fourth verse, right? So this is the fourth verse of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is one of the three most wonderful biographies of Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Bhagavat written by Vrindavan Das Thakur, Chaitanya Charitamrita written by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, and Chaitanya Mangal written by somebody, and even Murari Gupta wrote some biography. So in this beautiful verse, Anarpita charim chirat karuna avatirno kalo. So that the Lord is giving benedictions to the readers in this. The writer, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, is giving benediction. He's saying that, may the Lord, who is known as the son of Mother Sachi, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. I said, what will happen when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita? He's saying. I said, by this, he's praying that may the Lord, who is that Lord known as the son of Mother Sachi, Sachinandan. What will happen? Be transcendentally, there's a benediction he's giving, be transcendently situated in the innermost chambers of your heart. Okay? He's praying that the reader should get this benediction. And then he describes what is this Lord all about. Who is Lord Chaitanya? He said, resplendent with the hue of molten gold. What a beautiful description of the Lord. Resplendent with the hue of molten gold. A tinge of gold. A tinge of gold is very wonderful to see. Resplendent with the hue of molten gold. And here comes a very important line. He gave which no other incarnation has ever offered before. Anarpita charim chirat. Arpita means to give. Anarpita means never given before. Anarpita charim chirat karuna avatirno kalo. He is a karuna avatar. He is the most magnanimous avatar. As described, today's topic is Lord Caitanya, the most magnanimous incarnation of the Lord. So that he gave which no other incarnation has ever offered before. What is it? The most sublime and radiant mellow or taste of devotional service, the mellow of conjugal love. The most divine mellow. What is this Chiram Charit, the most highest thing that he is giving? Freely. Now just analyze, that, a few years back we were in Vrindavan. We were discussing with few devotees. And we were trying to understand what exactly is Vrindavan. The Vrindavan is where Krishna does his very intimate pastimes. Right? So if you go to meet somebody, a big man, then he has this meeting room where he meets people, and then he has his dining room where he does his dinner, maybe a formal dinner with people who come and meet him. But his bedroom, where he sits with his family and behaves as a normal person, not many people can go in that bedroom. Not allowed, obviously. He will not call you to his bedroom to have a business meeting. Right? But what is Vrindavan? Vrindavan is Krishna's very esoteric innermost chamber, where he does his very intimate pastimes with his intimate devotees. So one thing is, obviously we are not allowed to go there, but somebody who describes these pastimes in a very free way, that I went there and this is what happens in Vrindavan. Krishna does these wonderful pastimes. Can you imagine how beneficent that person is? He goes to that room and he says, well, I met this boss and this is what he does, and here it is, everybody should come and I want to tell everybody what's happening in that innermost place. That's exactly what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing. That he is giving the understanding, the access, to whom? To the most unfortunate people of Kali Yuga. Manda Sumanda Matayor Manda Bhagya. Manda Bhagya means, Manda means very, 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 I mean, there's no dam, there's no power in that. It's just Manda Buddhi ka hai ye. We say, ye Manda Buddhi ka admi hai. Means, he doesn't have any, his brain is not functioning properly. Or sometimes you say his brain is in his kidneys. So he's Mand. So what are the people of Kali Yuga? He said, Mand Bhagya. We all try to show our hands. Astrology is becoming very famous. In my travels, so many people. I was giving a class in one of the places, and it was a Bhagavatam class, and one person came and met me. Said, Prabhu, you have a very nice future. I said, why suddenly of all the things, your nice future? I said, how do you say that, by the way? And he's a devotee. I know him. He's from one of the places. I said, Prabhu, while you were giving class, I was seeing your teeth. I said, what? I said, I was seeing your forehead, I was seeing your cheeks, how your cheeks are moving up and down. I said, my God. I said, because I'm a face reader. I said, did you hear what I spoke or just saw my teeth? And he said, just by your arrangement of your teeth and by your cheeks and by your forehead and by everything, I can see that you have. I said, thank you very much, my dear friend. I'm sure I'm encouraged by your words, but let me talk something different with you, because I'm not interested in knowing my future at all. And I went to so many places. And astrology it is a brilliant science, wonderful science. We respect that science, and we should definitely not ignore the fact that science has important contributions in our life if done properly. But you cannot just ignore the principle of Krishna consciousness for astrology. Because the Shastra explained Manda Bhagya, you can have the best of Bhagya, your line can be the best. But in general, the Shastra says everybody in Kali Yuga is Manda Bhagya. I mean, what more do you want to talk about astrology? You can have the best of Bhagya, but ultimately it's going to be Mand. Very simple. Among the Mand, we can have the best of the worst, right? That's all it can be at the most. The best of the worst. Because by nature it is Manda Buddhi. Because we have less. I mean, just imagine our situation. We can't remember what. I mean, nowadays with these mobile phones, we don't even remember a single phone number of anybody. I remember my father he remembered almost 400 phone numbers by heart like this. He would do this, and he could do calculations so swiftly. But with these phones, you ask your wife's number, you say, oh, 1 second. Manda Bhagya and Manda Buddhi. So in this situation of Kali Yuga, where we have everything is Manda, except for the desire for sense gratification, which is very fired up, it is not Manda, it is very Tej. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving us the esoteric pastimes, entrance to the esoteric pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan freely. That's why it is such a beautiful words. Anarpita charim chirat karuna ortirno kalo samapatam unnatu jalarasam swabhaktim shriya. Unnata, the most divine pastime of Krishna, is giving us free, which is nectar. And one of the godbrothers of Srila Prabhupada, he glorified Srila Prabhupada, is saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave nectar in the form of Krishna's pastimes. But Prabhupada was so munificent, so magnanimous, that he distributed nectar as if it was water. Srila Prabhupada ki! This is the magnanimity. This is the sampradaya of magnanimity that we are part of. Magnanimity, just the highest thing, giving very freely. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave nectar. He gave nectar in the form of the pastime of the Lord. But still nectar has, you need some patra. But Prabhupada, he distributed nectar as a water, as a just. Of course, nowadays this example after 20 years will not be so valid. Because water becomes very precious anymore, very, very soon. Distribute water, oh, that's not so good because water is very precious. You can't distribute that water so easily. Now we can give it, right? Water means distribute freely. So that is the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this very, very famous verse, where did this word magnanimous come from? How did this word magnanimity or the magnanimous word get attached to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It was our Sampradaya Acharya, Sri Rupa Goswami, who composed this very brilliant verse. Let us all recite. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. So Sri Rupa Goswami and Sri Sanatana Goswami and his brother Anupam, as we all know, just to take a little into the history of these three great personalities, they were working for this very powerful king, Nawab Hussain Shah. But in their heart, they were constantly wanting to join Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But they were working with him so that the Vaishnavas will be protected. And they were they were so beautiful. Their name was Anand and Santosh. And their features were like most heavenly personalities with beautiful, sharp nose, sharp features. Very sharp intelligence. They knew so many languages. They were the revenue minister and the prime minister of Nawab Hussain Shah. Very, very high post. But after Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met them at Ramakeli, they said, enough is enough. We want to just give up this job. Enough. Just like many brahmacharis, many of them, they work at, I remember His Holiness Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj. Many of you may know him as Devamrit Prabhu. Many years back, I first met him in Jagannath Puri in 1988. He came to meet the group of devotees who had come there. He was working in Standard Chartered Bank, big official in Standard Chartered Bank. And after 6 months, suddenly I saw him. He came to Radha Gopinath temple, and he was the temple president of Radha Gopinath. But he had his hair, and he would go for a job in Shipping Corporation of India. I remember he was working in Shipping Corporation of India. He took a job. He would go out and work, and then he would come and stay as a brahmachari. But one fine day, after 6 months, we went to the Friday program at Sri Mahaprabhu Prabhu's house, and suddenly I saw him shaven-headed, effulgent, saffron-clad brahmachari. I said, Prabhu, what happened? I said, enough is enough. I said, I just gave it up. I said, it's too much. Enough of these jobs. I want to just give full time to Krishna. Huh? So when the call comes for renunciation, like we see the call has come for many of our wonderful worshipable brahmacharis, I hope the call remains. When a call comes, nothing can stop. Similarly, that call came for Rupa and Sanatan. They had so much wealth, so much power, so much aristocracy, so much that everybody would want to have. But there's just that. Taktva turnamashesha mandalapati shenim sada tuchchavat. Beautiful words. Mandalapati, they were like Mandalapati, they were like big landowners. But what did they do? Taktva turnam ashesha mandalapati. They just gave it up as insignificant. Srinivas Acharya writes in this glorification of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Rupa Goswami and his brother Anupam, they left the kingdom and tell Sanatan Goswami that, you have to be there for some more time to serve this Namabu Sensha. And Rupa Goswami had huge, we talk about at the most bag loads of money somebody may have. But he had a boat full of gold coins. Boat full. Can you imagine that much money? He divided it all. He gave some money to Sanatana Goswami to get rid of his duties and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But ultimately, these two brothers, they were searching for Lord Chaitanya. They just heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left Vrindavan and he has gone to Prayag. And then they reached Prayag and they found out that yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in Prayag. And they were seeing that the whole Prayag was flooded. And the history, even to this day, Prayag has never been flooded, even though it is the confluence of Ganga and Jamuna. It has never been flooded. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Prayag, it was flooded by the tumultuous chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to this very, very special place of the Bindu Madhav temple, and he was dancing in ecstasy. And Rupa Goswami and Anupam saw him from far and they were ecstatic. At last we are with the Lord. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in touch with one Deccan Brahmana, a Brahman from South India. South Indian Brahmanas have a very strong role to play in our society. Even Radheshyam Prabhu is a South Indian Brahmana, isn't it? So South Indian Brahmanas, Gaurang Prabhu also, I guess. So South Indian Brahmins from beginning have a very important role to play in our society. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing with everybody, but when he wanted to be peaceful, he went to the house of this Deccan Brahmana, where he would be completely in peace and he would just honor his prasad. And that is where Rupa and Anupam met Lord Chaitanya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Rupa Goswami and he was so happy. He said, at last you've given up this most horrible work that you were doing, serving up nature. And you are delivered. And Rupa and Anupam were offering amazing prayers. It was at this time this amazing prayer came from the heart of Rupa Goswami, which was one of the most deep prayers. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya. My obeisance is to the most Mahavadanyaya. Vadanyaya means charitable disposed, magnanimous. Mahavadanyaya, most magnanimous. Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya. He's Krishna, and his name is Krishna Chaitanya. His complexion is not like Krishna, is different than Krishna. That's how you offer these beautiful prayers to the Lord. So that's how this personality has been glorified by these beautiful prayers to glorify his magnanimity. And as the incarnation, as we heard in the previous lectures, that incarnations have wonderful, amazing qualities like beauty, like knowledge, like strength, and which they exhibit in order to attract the hearts of the fallen conditioned souls. Right? Why does the Lord do pastimes? To attract the hearts of the fallen conditioned souls. So one of the very, very beautiful pastimes which we would like to discuss today, which exhibits Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, we established that he is such a powerful incarnation, and he used his beauty, he used his amazing astute knowledge to deliver. Any guesses which pastime I might be talking about? Beauty and knowledge. We are going to discuss about the beautiful pastime. We'll keep it a suspense for some more time. So this was a situation when Nimai Pandit was in Navadvip. He was a powerful scholar, very well established teacher of Vyakaran grammar. And Navadvip was the high seat of learning. All the Bhattacharyas and all the powerful scholars were in Navadvip. And they were all very powerful, very, very proud of their, because people would come from all over the world to study at Navadvip. It was a high seat of learning. And one day a storm came in Navadvip. The storm in the form of a very, very powerful procession. The Brahmanas saw, my God, what's this? There was chariots and elephants and horses and huge trumpets. They would hear this sound. They sent the messengers and said, who is this? Who is coming to Navadvip? All the scholars are sitting here. Who is this coming? And somebody informed, there is a powerful man. His name was Keshav from Kashmir. And his name is the Keshav Kashmiri. And nowadays, unfortunate that many double PhD scholars, because I am in recruitment, they send resumes to me. Prabhu, any job is fine. Any job, 10,000, 20, 15,000, any job is fine. I said, you are a double PhD, one PhD from this place, one PhD from this place. How is it? That's unfortunate. There is no respect for knowledge. Of course, the knowledge that they have is also not so much respectful anyways. PhD, what is it? We have in our Vada farm, we have this special system of utilizing every single drop of water and every single thing that you throw out of your body. It has been processed and used, everything. And there is a person who has done his PhD, one of our devotees, a very old friend of our temple. And he processes all this human stool and everything and every drop of water. So our leader of our temple, he said that PhD means processor of human dung. in this case. So this powerful scholar, you should all go to Vada farm. There's Samtulan happening every week, every month. There'll be some balance which can come in your life. It is a wonderful place to go. So, and you can also see this PhD situation. So this scholar was coming and everybody was scared that, my God, he is carrying the Vijay Patra, his list of all the scholars that is defeated. And finally he is coming to Navadvip. Because if he defeats people in Navadvip, he is established as the top scholar of the world. So they were scared. I said, this man is really powerful. And it is said that Mother Saraswati is sitting on his tongue. If Mother Saraswati is sitting on your tongue, this man becomes too powerful. Of course, by the way, Mother Saraswati was used in a very wonderful way to bewilder our friend Kumkaran. You all know the story. That there's all these three brothers were doing this powerful tapasya, and this Kumkaran was such a huge giant. The demigod said, if this guy gets benediction, I mean, we're finished. this, and you know what he was. He was a huge, gigantic personality. And here Lord Brahma was about to give benedictions to all these people. So demigods, they ran and said, do something, Prahimam, Trahimam, this man is too much. So they said, don't worry, Mother Saraswati do the needful. The Mother Saraswati just went at the right time, and Kumbhakaran was saying, oh, you benedictions, all the thousands of years of tapasya that he did, and finally it was the culmination of his tapasya, he was getting the reward that which he wanted. And as we explained, that the moment he was asked, he said, let me sleep for 6 months. And as explained, Lord Brahma said, so be it, finished, chapter closed. Before he would realize what he spoke. Mother Saraswati did that, by the way. She sat on that tongue of this fellow, and Kumbhakaran, and that's how, the problem was solved. 50% of the problem was solved. 6 months or maybe one day he gets up, whatever the benediction, one day in a year he gets up and he eats and he goes to sleep. So similarly, Mother Saraswati is sitting on his tongue, and if she's empowering him, he's very, very powerful man. So he said, we will do one thing. Let him debate with this Nimai Pandit. Because if he debates with Nimai Pandit, then if he loses, then we say, oh well, only a Vyakran teacher from Nodip defeated you. What is we have no class to even debate with you. And if he gets defeated, Nimai Pandit gets defeated, then we can say what to do. He's anyway, after all, a Vyakran teacher. What's so big? You are defeated a Vyakran teacher. So it is explained. There's all these devotees. They ran. The students of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they ran to tell that, did you hear? There's this powerful Pandit who has come, Keshav Kashmir, and he's so proud. He's sitting on a palanquin, and he's having the Vijay Patra and the trumpets and bugles and elephants, and there's a huge entourage which is coming behind him, and he's very proud. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, very nice. Whenever the Lord sees someone proud for some personal quality, he suddenly removes the cause of that pride. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even when he was Nimai Pandit, was teaching us the important principle of Trinadapi Sunichena Taroreva Sahishna Amanina Manadena Kirtanya Sadahari. If just as soon as he heard that this man is proud, he said, very soon the Lord is going to reduce the pride of this personality. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the quality of a great man and a tree which is laden with fruits is always bent humbly. Humility is the principle which is most adoring great personalities. And if this man is proud, he'll be defeated. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the great personalities like Hayaya, Nahusha, Vena, Bana, Naraka and Ravana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, these were the great personalities. They were very proud. But Krishna defeated their pride. We know of this Hayaya, which is nothing but Kartavira Arjun, which is a part of the pastime of Parshuram. Kartavira Arjun was destroyed completely by Parshuram. He was a proud man, very powerful, very strong man. He was defeated. Similarly, Narkasur, Banasur and Ravan, very, very powerful personalities, but as the Lord does not tolerate the pride of these people, they're vanquished in due course. This person, he announced, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, very soon his pride will be destroyed. And then, as Chaitanya Bhagavat beautifully explains, that Nimai Pandit was thinking in his mind that I have to defeat this person. But one important aspect of Lord Chaitanya, which we must try to understand, he was extremely sensitive to doing the right thing right. We have to be very sensitive in dealing with people. Sensitivity is very, very important. He said, if I defeat him in public, it will be such an ego defeat for him, they will not be able to survive. People will make fun of him and not be able to survive. So I will defeat him in private. So this was the situation. Please just imagine the situation. It was a clear full moon night on the banks of Mother Ganga. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as explained, the smile decorated the Lord's moon-like face, his beautiful eyes showered with merciful glance. His teeth defeated the luster of string of pearls, and his reddish lips resembled the color of rising sun, and he was full of compassion. His head was adorned with beautiful locks of curling hair, and his dress was divine. His neck was like a lion, his shoulder is like an elephant. Just imagine the situation. A person like this, beautiful curling hair, eyes beautiful, teeth are beautiful. Of course, this is the person we should see his teeth of. I mean, this is the person we can for eternity see this teeth of this person and become delivered. The teeth are like beautiful pearls. His smile was like a moon, very, very cooling and refreshing. His neck was like a lion. And his shoulder was like an elephant. And he was sitting with his students, and Vrindavan Das Thakur says it was a very enchanting scene. Very wonderful. Our authors, they describe it. It was a very enchanting scene. You can imagine it was a full moon night. The Ganges was flowing. I'm sure the moon was shining in the Ganges. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in a very beautiful form, as this we described, was sitting with his right leg on his left thigh. A very specific description is given. He was sitting and all the students were discussing. And at that time, the Lord in the heart of Keshav Kashmiri inspired him to go to the banks of the Ganges. And then he met. And when Keshav Kashmiri, who would never ever get frightened of anybody, he was so proud, so powerful. How can a person like that get frightened of anybody? But when he saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit, for the first time he said, who is this? Such beauty, such charisma. And he said, are you Nimai Pandit? He said, yes, I am Nimai Pandit. Oh, I've heard about you. Because Nimai Pandit was very famous as a grammar teacher. He said, yes, but I'm simply a grammar teacher. And I'm not even able to impress my own students, what talk of anybody else. When you want to get some work done out of a proud person, first you have to, give him that deal. Deal? You know what is deal? Have you flown kites in your life? I have flown, so I'll tell you some techniques. When you're flying kites, there's one thing is what is called ghasitna, and one is what is called give deal. Okay, so a person who want to cut other kites, you have to either pull the kite, and that is called in Hindi ghasit, and then you cut the kite of somebody. But another way is to give deal, and sometimes you want to fool that person whose kite you are trying to cut, that your kite is cut. You just give deal, your kite becomes very loose and starts flying, right? He thinks you already cut. I mean, your flight is cut. I mean, are you understanding what I'm saying? Only those who have flown kites will understand. This is a very high esoteric science which I'm describing. I'm going back down my memory lanes, the nice time that I had flying kites. So you are giving deal, and the kite just flies in the sky as if it is without any thread. And at the right time, you just pull it, and then you can do the needful. Similarly, if you are dealing with a person who likes to get flown, a person who like to be glorified, they are like kites. You pump them, and they'll go flying up and up. I say, you are so great. You are so wonderful. So Keshav Kashmiri was so proud, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew exactly time, place, and circumstance what to do. This is an expert preacher. If you just first say Keshav Kashmiri, well, I am God. What is yours? What are you? What are you? I am the supreme. Vedam sarvatitani vartamani cha Arjuna. That I am the knower of everything. Keshav Kashmiri would not be impressed. I say, I don't want to deal with you. But you say, I am a grammar teacher, and you are talking about I am famous, but I am not even able to impress my own students. What talk of anybody else? Keshav Kashmiri say, oh, yeah, I agree. I understand. I understand. I understand what you're saying. It makes sense to me because after all, I am what I am. So he said, my dear sir, I learned some poetry and something here and there. I'm a new student. I said, but you are such a pandit. And it was so wonderfully acted for those who were fortunate enough. A scene which is never going to happen in the history of creation again. When Adi Keshav Prabhu and Gauranga Prabhu acted as Keshav Kashmiri and Nimai Pandit. And you can see Adi Keshav Prabhu in his expert acting, where Gauranga Prabhu as Nimai Pandit was saying, you are so great, and he was saying, yes, I'm great. It was very wonderful acting Adi Keshav Prabhu did. And it's not recorded also, unfortunately. There's no recording of this. So he said, you are such a great scholar, will you recite or compose 100 verses on Mother Ganga? Can you imagine? He didn't say you use as copy paste from something that you heard. He said that thoda 25 verses from here, 25 verses from here, and 100. No, he said you compose it. That means while you are speaking, he was composing it. Can you imagine this scholarship? The world has never seen such scholarship ever. And Keshav Kashmiri was empowered by Mother Saraswati in matter of 1 hour, as explained, constantly, without taking any pills or any. Just like the raging wind, as explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He narrated 100 verses glorifying Mother Ganga, and people who understand scholarship, the students of Chaitanya were like, what was that? It's just amazing. He said, oh Rama, what is this? They said. Gaurari Prabhu acted as this student, our Gaurari Prabhu. South Indian Gaurari. Oh Rama, what is this? The way he described. Amazing. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, oh my God, Nimai Pandit said, you have done a wonderful job, my dear sir. There is no greater poet like you in the entire world. There is no greater poet than you in the entire world. And he was really puffed up, Keshav Kashmiri. But then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started doing the surgery. Now first you give anesthesia, so that you don't realize that you're getting what a doctor do first, he give anesthesia, right? And then you don't realize, and then he starts cutting your body, zoom, and you're seeing it. Sometimes anesthesia is not where you can see what's happening, but you don't feel the pain. In front of your eyes, you are getting blood is boom coming out, but you don't know. You're seeing, because there are so many steel things in the operation theater, so through the reflection you can see, boom, so blood coming out and everything. But you're anesthetized, you don't know what's happening. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first glorified him and completely anesthetized this Keshav Kashmiri. He was a surgeon, perfect surgeon, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit. And then he said, you are such a great poet, my dear Keshav Kashmiri, but your poem only you will understand, and your Lord, Mother Saraswati, nobody else can understand your poem. I mean, if you say somebody, Prabhuji, what a class, what a brilliant class, only you understood your class. I mean, is that glorification or it is? Prabhuji, आपने क्या वर्स बोला है, क्या technical points, fantastic. Prabhuji, कुछ समझा नहीं मेरे को. Right? So this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. What a poetry! 100 verses in 1 hour. Fantastic. 100 verses in 60 minutes. What is the average? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, but your verses were so good. So good. Only you understand, and your goddess Mother Saraswati. And that's what, what did you speak now? Because he was like in his own world, and suddenly somebody speak like this. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, one more thing. And now let us discuss the good points and the bad points in your composition. This was something which Keshav Kashmiri had never heard in his life. How can there be any bad points in composition? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, and Keshav Kashmiri was so proud. This is the nature of pride. You become deaf. Please understand, we must learn. It is not that this applicable only to Keshav Kashmiri and we laugh, Keshav Kashmiri is happening. It happens to all of us. You do not understand good advice when you are proud. You feel you are doing the right thing. You keep on doing the wrong thing for years together. People are correcting you, but you become deaf to the correction. And he said, there cannot be anything wrong in my composition. Mother Saraswati is sitting on my tongue. Not possible. So then, can you have this verse? Twisted. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, he recited this verse. Slowly. No, don't scratch. Yes. So here is the verse is revealed to all of us. So he said that, my dear Keshav Kashmiri, of the 100 verses, one verse was, can Gaurang Prabhu you recite? I don't know how to recite this verse. It's too difficult Sanskrit, I can't even speak. What is it? Can Gaurang Prabhu, what is this verse? Can loudly? Mahatattvam Gangaya Satatam Idam Abati Nit. I can't even say it. Anyway, you see this verse, you read for yourself, okay? Anyway, we are simple devotees. Don't. If you can't do it, don't do it. No stress. Why trouble yourself? Go forward. So he said that this verse, he recited, Nimai Pandit recited this verse, and Keshav Kashmiri said, my God, what is this? How did you recite this verse? And he said, Chaitanya Prabhu said, as a matter of fact, my dear sir, somebody, Krishna empowers him to be a fantastic scholar like you, and somebody Krishna empowers to be a Shuddhidhar, whenever he hears anything, he remembers for the rest of his life. And you are a great scholar, but I am a Shuddhidhar. Whenever I hear once, I remember it. And Keshav Kashmiri said, oh, good explanation, fine. You are satisfied. He said, my dear sir, there is some problem in this verse. And I'll explain. And we'll try to understand some technicalities in this verse, not to just understand technicality, but to understand the scholarship of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to understand what a person that we have as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and be proud of to be a devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said that there are, I hope I can do this. So he said there are 3 problems or 4 problems in this verse. One verse he took, and he said there are 4 problems. One problem is called Avimshrita Vidmayasa. This is the technical word of the problem. Other is Viruddhamati. The third is Punar Ukti, and the fourth is Bhagna Krama. And we'll explain. He said that Viruddha Avimshrita Vidmayasa means that you have the subject first and then the predicate. I'm sure all of you remember your grammar classes. The subject and the predicate. For example, just to make it easy for you, this man is learned. Is the right sentence. But we can't say learned is this man. Can you say that? Right? So when we are talking about a subject, means this man is learned. So subject is first, a known thing followed by something which is followed by predicate. But he said that in this verse, the words, the 2 places where this problem came, where you are using the word Dvitiya Shri Lakshmir. He said Dvitiya is a predicate and Lakshmi is the subject, because you are comparing Ganga to be as good as goddess of fortune Lakshmi Devi. So the subject is Lakshmi, but you are using the word Dvitiya Shri Lakshmi, which is a wrong thing. So this is where you are wrong in the first instant. The second thing, Viruddha Mati. He said you have used the word Bhavani Bhartu in the last line of the verse. It means that the word Bhavani refers to the wife of Bhava, that is Lord Shiva. Please understand very nicely. But since Bhavani is already known as wife of Lord Shiva, to add the word Bharta or husband it means the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. Are you getting it? Bhavani Bhartu means what it means as per what Keshav Kashmiri composed, the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. Because Bhavani already means the wife of Lord Shiva. Bhava means Lord Shiva. Bhavani means the wife of Lord Shiva. So Bhavani Bhartu means the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. That means what it means. Anybody? If you really understood what I said. It means that Bhavani has one more husband. Is it right? The husband of the wife of Lord Shiva. I mean, if I can't say this, I can't give examples because somebody will beat me up. But suppose you say that, this person, she's the wife of X person, and you say that, I hope you understand. So what we are trying to, what you were saying that Bhavani Bhartu means the husband of the wife of Lord Shiva, which is wrong. Because Bhavani has only one husband, like Lord Shiva. So you're done. Keshav Kashmiri he was feeling that what's happening? There's never a problem like this. He said, don't worry, I'll tell you some more problems. Wait. And he said, Punara Yukti. He said, in this first line, third line and fourth line, there's wonderful alliteration. You know alliteration, right? In the form of her. The first line there's word ta which is repeated. Mahatattvam, Satatam, Bhavanti. So the T is repeated, alliteration. The same word is T is repeated. In the third line we have the letter Ra repeated 5 times. Right? Shriya, Lakshmir, Sura, Nara, Acharya, Charana. So Ra. So it is wonderfully embellished with wonderful alliterations. Similarly in the fourth line also we have the word Bha. Bhavani, Bhartu, Vibhavati, Adbhuta. So Bha is repeated. But the second line has no alliteration, he said. First line has it, third line has it, fourth line has it, but the second line doesn't have it. This is not proper, my dear Keshav Kashmiri. You know, if you want to do it properly. You have forgotten the second line. He said, my God. That first of all he recited this verse by heart. He said, I recited this verse like raging wind. And not only recited this verse, but he analyzed this verse and he found mistakes. And just to pacify Keshav Kashmiri, and then I will tell you the good points in your relax, there are good points also, my dear friend, don't worry. I said, even in spite of using the word Shri Lakshmi, what is the meaning of Shri? Lakshmi. So what is if you use the meaning of saying Shri Lakshmi? Does it make sense? But in this case, it makes sense because you're using, he said, although the word Shri Lakshmi conveys the same meaning and are therefore almost redundant, they're nevertheless not redundant. Describing Lakshmi as possessed of Shri offers a difference in the meaning with a tinge of repetition. It gives us more meaning that Mother Ganga is being compared to Mother Lakshmi, and not only Lakshmi is possessor of fortune, but even Mother Ganga is possessor of fortune. That's why you use the word Shri Lakshmi. In spite of it sounding repetitive, it gives more meaning to glorifying Mother Ganga, and this is a good point. You've done a great job in this. Congratulations, very well done. And second thing, he said, everyone knows the lotus flower grows in the water of Ganga, right? We all know. But this verse explains that Ganga grows from lotus flower. Which verse? Is the word Kamalopati Subhaga. That is, it means that the Ganga is originating from a lotus flower. And how does it, how can you say that Ganga comes from a lotus flower? We know that lotus flower comes in Ganga, but how can you say Ganga comes from lotus flower? But he said, even though it sounds redundant, it sounds wrong, but because Ganga is coming from the lotus feet of Krishna, which is the lotus. So in this case, we can say that even the lotus grows in Ganges, but Ganges is coming from lotus, which is nothing but the lotus feet of Krishna, Vishnu. So you have wonderfully described Lord Vishnu by this verse, and you are wonderful, glorious. But he said, this is just one verse. If you analyze deeply, my dear Keshav Kashmiri, I can find hundreds and hundreds and faults in your composition. And then Keshav Kashmiri tried to discuss and speak something, but he couldn't speak. He was choked up. He was locked. It was like freezed. He was in a hibernation mode. He couldn't really do anything. And he was thinking, what happened? Why is Mother Saraswati left me? And this, again, the sensitive nature of the Lord came into picture. All the students were laughing at him. Murk ban gaya. You know, if somebody big comes and uska popat ho jata hai, popat, we say na popat. Sorry to use this word. I should not use it. Yeah? But he said, you know, if something happens to him, he said, you came at a big man, but now, you know, you're finished. So all the students were laughing at him. He said, shh, stop laughing. You should not laugh. My dear Keshav Kashmiri, you are a respectable man. Go to your place. You seem to be tired. Refer your books and come tomorrow. We can discuss further. In a nice way, respectful way. Not the way we say, kal aaja, chal dekhte hai. Not that way. Nimai Pandit was such a refined gentleman. He said in such a gentle way that please, Keshav Kashmiri, you please go and we'll definitely talk about tomorrow. And Keshav Kashmiri was for the first time in his life defeated. He felt so despondent. He went to his house. Can you imagine this? A person who is honored, dishonor is worse than death. The best is not to be honored. That's why the best is to remain a small person. Because if you become used to honor, and there will be people who will dishonor you. And when you get dishonored, it is worse than death. So best is to remain a small man. That's the best thing. Do big things, but remain a small man. Just like many years back, our spiritual master was describing this fountain, which is not working today, but if it was working, we could have seen the water which comes out. And he said that this water, what is the nature of this water? The nature of water is always to go down. It doesn't remain high. But with the pump, it is thrown up. But as soon as it goes up, it wants to come down. So the nature of a genuine devotee is always that he wants to go down, but he's pumped by Guru and Vaishnavas to do big things. But he's not pumped to the extent that he remains high. He always wants to come down. So Keshav Kashmiri was so much used to getting honored. It was worse than death. And he was praying, Mother Saraswati, what happened? Why did you abandon me? And then Mother Saraswati revealed to him. And this beautiful acting was done by our dear Stoka Krishna Prabhu in the drama. He became as Mother Saraswati, if you remember the drama. And then, she said, this is my Lord himself. How can I talk anything about in front of him? Please go and surrender to him. And Keshav Kashmiri, as the story goes, surrendered to the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was captivated by the Lord's knowledge aspect and the beauty aspect of the Lord. So the Lord does such amazing pastimes. This is one of the pastimes which shows his amazing scholarship and amazing exhibition of beauty which captures people completely. There's another beautiful pastime which the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Namo Mahavadanyaya, wants to give. And one of the important things that he wanted to teach to the world is the importance of the culture of respect. A Vaishnava community is a community of mutual respect for each other. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching, if you see the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a scripture which is the postgraduate study of the Vedic scriptures. And it is all about giving respect to to the other Vaishnavas. It's all about amanina manadena, no respect for oneself, but giving all respect to others. And that is always what is going on in the Sangam of devotees. Everybody wants to respect the other person. What is this whole scripture? Brihad Bhagavatamrita. What an amazing scripture written by Sanatana Goswami. For those who have not read, please read it. It is a scripture where devotees, great devotees, are simply waiting to glorify other devotees and see something good in other devotees. The whole scripture, Prahlad Maharaj is glorifying, Hanumanji is glorifying somebody else, Uddhav is glorifying, the gopis are glorifying, Narad Muni is glorifying. Narad Muni is the person who is going around. So what is scripture? So this is Vaishnava culture, to glorify, not to ask for glorification for oneself. So while this culture was being personally practiced, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present on this, doing his pastimes here, we had these 5 personalities: Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Srivas Thakur and Gadar Pandit. And of the 5, they had amazing relationship with each other, and the relationship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Advaita Acharya was very special. Very, very special, because Advaita Acharya, as we know from his appearance, he was much elderly to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, much elderly person. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody knew he was Sakshat Bhagavan, the Lord himself, the original personality of Godhead. So Advaita Acharya was naturally respecting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu completely and said, you are the Lord himself, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a special relationship with Advaita Acharya that he would always respect Advaita Acharya completely. He would offer his respects to him, touch his lotus feet, worship him, glorify him. And for a devotee, if somebody senior respects you and worships you, it's very, very uncomfortable, isn't it? Very uncomfortable. And this was going on for years. For years this relationship was going on. Advaita Acharya would say to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are the Lord himself. Why do you respect me so much? Why do you worship me? Why do you touch my feet and take the dust on your head? It is not proper. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would never give up this act of respect. Just one story, Srila Prabhupada he was teaching this culture of respect. So he initiated 2 devotees, very famous devotees. The first devotees who danced in front of Prabhupada in the Tompkins Square Park. Anybody knows the names? If you go to Jew temple, that diorama is there. Their names were Chuck and Bruce. The 2 first devotees were danced in front of Lord. And they became Brahmananda and Gargamuni. So then when they got initiated, Prabhupada said, you go and take blessings of your mother. Taking blessings of mother, it is not part of any American culture. What to take blessings? American culture means 16 years, you are gone, you never see your mother. At the most, you just say hi, hello. That's all. Mother's Day, you give some gifts to them. So to take blessings. And I said, but how do I take blessings? You offer sastang dandavat to your mother. And that too, as soon as you see her. So this was something which they had never done. But the greatness of these followers of Srila Prabhupada was that whenever they were told to do something, they did it verbatim as it is. No deletions, no subtractions, no, nothing. Indians, they tend to, maybe it doesn't really mean that, after all, Indians, they like to dilute things very, but I mean, the followers, Westerners, I've seen many times, they do things as it is. If they're told, they do it as it is. So as the stories, I think I heard the story from somebody, and they said that they went to the house and they rang the bell. And of the mother's house, and they rang, and the mother usually, we all see from the keyhole, who is there. So she saw, and there's nobody there. So she was wondering, she was a little worried, I mean, who is there? So she opened the door slightly, and she saw, I said, she can't see anybody in the front. And then she saw down, and there was this huge 2 people lying on the floor. And I said, what are these people? She opened the door, and then the people were lying. I said, we have, and realized they are her children. They said, come in, what do the neighbors say? Come in. I said, give your blessings first. Our Gurudev has told that you should give blessings, you should respect you. And she said, okay, fine, whatever you want, take it, but come inside. They came inside. So Prabhupada taught this very important principle of respecting our parents, respecting our seniors, respecting people who are with elderly age, respecting the women folk, respecting the children. When you're following Gaudiya Vaishnavism, it is not that you are transcendental to all these things. You are just, everything is, we don't respect. No. Cultural respect is very, very integral part of our culture. So, Advaita Acharya was trying to some other convince Lord Chaitanya not to respect it, but he was not listening. So, Advaita Acharya, for a few days, he was not to be seen. Nimai Pandit, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, where is Advaita Acharya now? I don't see him nowadays. Where is he gone? The devotee said, you don't know what happened? I said, what happened? I said, Advaita Acharya bloop ho gaya. I said, what? Yeah, he became a Mayavadi. I said, what? Yeah, he's preaching Mayavad philosophy everywhere in the villages. And there are throngs of people, thousands and lakhs of people coming to hear him. And please understand, who is Advaita Acharya? Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Sadashiv, the original Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva came as the incarnation of Shankaracharya, who actually propagated the Mayavad philosophy. So when Advaita Acharya was preaching the Mayavad philosophy, he was so convincing that in the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the person who started the bhakti cult, as we say, was still present, but the throngs of people came to hear Advaita Acharya. I said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was shocked. What happened? He said, yeah, he's preaching Mayavad philosophy. He said, what is he preaching? So devotee said, we don't know, we didn't hear, because you told us, Mayavad bhashya shunil hoy sarvanash. So we didn't hear anything. So we just closed away, we came back. I said, no, go and hear and come back and tell me what he's saying. And devotees went, and they said that, what is he saying? I said, he's saying something very amazing, it sounds very true. Said, what is he saying? He said that this body is like a pot. And there is empty pot. And there's air inside the pot, and there's air outside the pot. But when the pot breaks, what happens? The inside air of the pot merges with the outside air, and all becomes one. Similarly, when the body dies, the soul merges with the super soul and everything becomes one. And people are, it sounds right, right? This is Mayavad, it sounds right. It sounds right. Yeah, so this is what he's preaching. And then, and they said many things. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very angry. I said, how can one of my lieutenants become like this? He's brainwashed. He needs to be cleaned. What is this Mayavad that he's preaching? And so many people were affected by the preaching of Advaita Acharya. So he went next day to the place where Advaita Acharya was preaching. Advaita Acharya was giving powerful discourse on Mayavad philosophy. He said that, Soham, we are that. But the devotees, they say, but we are taught, the devotees sitting there, but we are told that we are Dasoham, not Soham, we are Dasoham. So no, we are not Dasoham, we are Sada Soham. Advaita was refuting the philosophy of bhakti. And he was hearing, and when he was talking about like this, from the corner of his eyes, he saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu standing behind the tree. And he started preaching with much more vigor, much more intensity. At one point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became so very angry, his eyes were red hot. And he came and he pulled Advaita Acharya from the high seat where he was speaking from. Just imagine, in front of all those people sitting, he just pulled him down and started pounding and beating him. Just imagine somebody does that to me. It would be nice if you do it. And somebody just comes and he starts boom, boom, boom. And what happens? From the audience, his wife, Sita Thakurani, Advaita Acharya's wife, he said that she came running. And she said that, please stop beating, this is an old man, he will die. Everybody was wondering what happened suddenly, why this man starts coming and Nimai Pandit was beating. But one person was in ecstasy. And who was that? Advaita Acharya. He was in complete bliss. He was laughing. He was laughing when he was getting beaten up. And he was saying, my dear Lord, where is the respect for me gone now? Where is the reverential words that you have from me gone now? Now you are beating me, and when you beat somebody, that means you accept that person as your servant. You have accepted me as your servant. Thank you very much. And Nimai Pandit realized that he was strict. But this story is exciting, wonderful story. But what it teaches, what is the Mahavadanya avatar teaching? There's constant competition which is going on in spiritual circles. What is the competition? Of giving respect to each other. The devotees want to respect the Lord, and the Lord wants to respect the devotees. And who wins? The devotees win. Because the propensity, the power of devotees giving respect to the Lord is much more enthusiastic. The Lord gets defeated by the enthusiasm of the devotees' desire to respect the Lord. So this is a very, very important aspect of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy. Mahavadanya Avatar is, when you talk about the most beneficent incarnation, we have to understand the 8 verses that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. And of the 8 verses, the 3rd verse is the most important verse. It is said that you should wear this verse constantly around your neck. Is it right? Constantly around your neck. And follow this verse. What is this verse? Trinadapi sunichena taroreva saishana amanina manadena. To give all respect to others and expect no respect for oneself. And that is what this supreme incarnation of the Lord, the most beneficent incarnation, the most magnanimous incarnation is teaching us by his own example to give respect to others and expect none in return. So there's also this beautiful situation. We are just in the next few days going to celebrate. Many of the devotees are going to go to this very holy festival which is going to happen in Jagannath Puri and going to happen in Mumbai at Mira Road also. The festival of Jagannath Rath Yatra. Now we sang this beautiful bhajan. Say Gaura, Jai Gaura, say Krishna, say Jagannath. The same Lord who is Gaura, the same Lord is Krishna, and the same Lord is Jagannath. There's no difference whatsoever. Jai Jai Jagannath Sachiranandan. That this person who is the son of Jagannath and Sachi Mata, this song glorifies, Vasudev Ghosh is glorifying this. So, the thing that happens a day before Rath Yatra is something we would like to discuss very briefly. Because what is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaching us? He's giving us this wonderful understanding of Rath Yatra. What does Rath Yatra mean? Rath Yatra is nothing but Lord Krishna going from Dwarka back to Vrindavan. It is a Vrindavan pastime. It is a pastime where the gopis are pulling the Lord, and it's a very esoteric, deep pastime that we have access to. But before we have access to this pastime or this festival for that matter, it is important. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu every year while he was in Jagannath Puri would perform this festival before Rath Yatra, the festival of Gundicha Marjanam, which is very, very important. That Cheto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavag Nirvaparanam. That we have to cleanse the mirror of your heart so that the Lord can reside in that place in a very, very comfortable way. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, with great enthusiasm, went on this day, a day before Rath Yatra, to Gundicha Marjanam. And then he called all the devotees, let us enthusiasm. What is important is enthusiasm in devotional service. If you are enthusiastic, enthusiasm means you are alive. If you have no enthusiasm, then you are practically a dead man. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his enthusiasm was contagious. He was so enthusiastic. He went and said, let us clean this place Gundicha, where the Lord is going to come and reside for another few days, 10 days, right? Whatever days that he stays there. Let us make it spick and span for the Lord to reside and be very happy about. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had this very, very wonderful competition that he started cleaning this place. And they took all the straws or the dust. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had one side, he's collected all the dust. But can you imagine that the enthusiasm of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as we understand from this wonderful pastime, enthusiasm gives rise to cleansing. The more enthusiastic you are to clean your heart, the faster your heart is cleansed. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so enthusiastic in cleansing the temple that he had a huge pile of dirt just alone, much bigger than the pile of all the devotees put together. And then he cleansed it, took out all the small dust particles, then he got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of buckets of water from the nearby Sarovar to cleanse that place completely. Spick and span. And they were brooming and removing the waters. And therefore there were a lot of funny pastimes. Somebody was trying to take that water from the Lord's feet and drink it. But this pastime is so very important and relevant that if we want to really understand the magnanimity of the Lord, we want to really understand the glories of Lord Jagannath, then we have to understand the importance of cleansing the heart, which is signified by this very important pastime of the Gundicha Marjanam. And the last but not the least are the most important before we really end today's class. One of the most important contributions of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a discussion between Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discussed, and the whole discussion is a very elaborate discussion, but a few questions that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda Rai, which will be very important to understand as the gifts of this magnanimous avatar to all of us. He asked, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking, what is the most valuable thing in the world, Ramananda Rai? He asked, after the discussion was over, of the progressive understanding of Krishna, and then when Ramananda Rai established that Radha and Krishna, Radha Pada Dasyam, Radha Pada Sevanam is the highest understanding of the spiritual world. Once he established, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asking a lot of questions to Ramananda Rai. And a very beautiful answers that Ramananda Rai gave, which will be wonderful to discuss. He said, what is the most valuable thing in the world? What will you answer? He said, Ramananda Rai replied that who has love of Radha and Krishna possesses the valuable jewel and the greatest riches. What is the most valuable thing? Love of Radha and Krishna. Now we know the beautiful story of the Sanatana Goswami. This person knew that he had this touchstone, which whoever that stone touches becomes gold. And he went to Sanatana Goswami and said, my dear Goswami ji, you have the touchstone, you are a Goswami, you don't need it. I know you are anyway given up everything, why don't you give it to me? He said, yeah, you go and take it, it's in the dustbin down there. Huh? It's in dustbin? Yes, it's in the dustbin. I said, then that means you have something more valuable than the touchstone. But why should you throw in the dustbin? I said, yes, I have something more valuable. But you have to throw this touchstone in the Jamuna. That time Sanatana Goswami was on this Dwadash Aditya Til, the place where they were worshipped Radha Madan Mohan. When now it is a hill. a hillock actually. And he was there, and Jamuna was just flowing opposite, and he said, "You throw it there, and then only I'll tell you this treasure that I have." It was a great faith that he had to have in Sanatana Goswami. He threw that jewel he threw this whole touchstone in the Jamuna. If you want to go, you can still go. It is still there. Somebody wants to go, it is still lying in Jamuna. But then he asked Sanatana Goswami, "What is the valuable jewel that you have, which you want to give it to me?" Then he said, the love of Radha and Krishna, which can be achieved by this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So Ramananda Rai said, please understand, this discussion between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai is a discussion between the Supreme Lord, who came in the combined form of Radha and Krishna, with Lalita Sakhi, who is from the spiritual world, came as Ramananda Rai. No, Ramananda Rai was Vishaka Sakhi, sorry. Vishaka Sakhi, who came as Ramananda Rai. The discussion between these two personalities, it has to be very, very important and esoteric for us to really understand it. The second thing is, what is considered to be the most painful existence? What is the most painful thing? And he said the most painful thing is separation from the pure devotees constitute the most painful thing. So we have so many pains in our life. We have a pain of of maybe losing our money, a pain of losing our youth. Many of us were losing our youth. It's painful, or losing something which is very dear. We lost our dear devotees recently. Very, very close friends of ours. That is the greatest pain. To get rid, to be separated from the devotees of the Lord. And sometimes the mind convinces you that it's too much association. Enough is enough. Take a break. Be away from devotees. Enjoy yourself. But it is painful. And the amount that Maya can capture you when you are away from devotees, you cannot imagine. I met one devotee who was very, 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 very active, staying in the ashram, very, very active. I met him in some other place, other part of the world, completely changed. A very, very staunch follower of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, met him other place, completely changed, very modern, very, very, and he was so much anesthetized. He doesn't even know that he is having this pain of separate from devotees. So we should understand the greatest pain that we can experience, and we don't want to experience, is the pain of separation from the devotees. He said, out of so many so-called liberated souls, who is actually liberated? So many people say they are liberated. But who is actually liberated? Ramananda Rai replied, he who is actually completely saturated with devotional love for Radha and Krishna is to be considered to be the most liberated person. One who is saturated with love of Radha and Krishna. And out of so many songs, what song do you think is the best of all songs? So we sing so many songs. Govind Prabhu was mentioning about one horrible song which was there, and devotees converted that song into Hare Krishna Mahamantra and singing. All these famous songs which keep on coming. But what is the greatest song of all songs? According to Ramananda Rai, who is Vishaka Sakhi, he said, Ramananda Rai replied that any song which describes the pastimes of Radha and Krishna is the best song. Why do you want to sing any other song? Why do you want to hear any other song? The devotees have this tendency, too much purity is not good. I met one devotee, I said, Prabhu, why you want to really hear these songs? I said, Prabhuji, even gold, 25 karat gold also bends. Sometimes they put impurity in the gold to make ornaments. I said, yeah, so what? So, if I have to be a nice ornament to be offered to Krishna, there should be some impurity in me also. So I'm offering. I said, my God. What a logic. Devotees can really have such astute intelligence and have such logic. I said, because he said, I heard in the class that you should be ready to be offered to the lotus feet of Krishna as a beautiful jewelry. So then I realized if I have to be a jewelry, that somebody has to make me. That means there should be some impurities to be made a jewelry. With 25 karat gold, you can't make jewelry. It's very soft. So you put some jewelry so that it becomes hard and you can offer it. So some impurity, Prabhuji, is good. It just makes me stable. complete misunderstanding of the philosophy. Devotees tend to do that. But as I understand, all these songs, we get carried away and we try to Krishnaize it. But it is dangerous for Krishna consciousness. So any song which describes the glory of Radha and Krishna purely is a glory song. And what do you recommend a person to think of? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asking very basic question. What do you recommend that people should think about? And Ramananda Rai said, Ramananda Rai replied that one should always think of the pastimes of Krishna. This is Krishna conscious. Always think of pastime of Krishna. That is why we have this wonderful facility in this temple, and we should regularly come, where there is a facility to hear about Krishna. In a year, by the great mercy of Radha Gopinath, in this temple, we hear at least once the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita, at least once the whole Krishna's pastimes, Raman pastimes, and we should never feel that I know this pastime. It is same old, mantra, and the same old Kaikai, the same old Putana. But keeping on hearing the wonderful pastime of Krishna on and on and on, your hearts will be purified. As we said, Srinvita Swakatha Krishna, Punya Shravan, Vidanasta Abhadrani, all the Abhadra things goes away. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Always, constantly, regularly hear about the pastime of Krishna, and then you will be safe. And then you'll be coming, one of the powerful outcomes of hearing Krishna Katha, that you rise from the Kanishtal level to the Madhyama level. Not that you become much more progressive in your Krishna conscious path. And then he said, what is the best type of meditation? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired. He who meditates upon the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna is the best meditator, Ramananda Rai said. And where should a person live, giving up all other pleasures? Ramananda Rai said he should give up everything and go to Vrindavan. Should we really go there? To create Vrindavan wherever you are. Many times the tendency of the devotee is, which we try to dovetail, that any holiday you get, we want to rush to a holy place, which is good. But going too often to a holy place, you can start taking that place for granted. And can you imagine the misfortune that awaits you if you start taking the holy place for granted? If you start taking Switzerland for granted, no problem. What is the problem? Switzerland is anyway nothing great. But if you start thinking Vrindavan, I know Vrindavan, I know this place, I know you get Rabdi also, they were there, and you get this. I know this place completely, Radha Madan Mohan, I know all these places. If you start taking Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri for granted, and the tendency of the mind is, when you do something too often, if you don't do it with proper understanding, you start taking it for granted. So what do you really mean here is to create Vrindavan wherever you are, and the best thing is to be very reserved in visiting holy place. We should go, but with proper understanding, not indiscriminately. Are you getting the meaning? It is not wrong to go to holy places. It's very good. It is one of the 5 angas of devotional service. But indiscriminately going to holy places will create problems. You might not really understand the importance of it slowly. And what is the best subject matter to hear? If Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, and he said the best subject matter to hear is the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And which is the most beautiful deity to be worshipped? He said the deity of Radha and Krishna. So in this conversation we understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was trying to establish, and their answers were the same answers, Radha and Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, isn't it? Why we discuss this point is, we must understand that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as the Mahavadani avatar, is giving a Radha Krishna to all of us. And in our life, who is that most important person who gave Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to all of us? It's Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So Srila Prabhupada is such a personality that if it was not for Yadi Gaur na hoito, Kabhi ki hoito, Kyamona Dhoritam the, Radhar Mahima. How do we understand the Mahima of Radharani if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not be there? So similarly, we must understand the munificence of Srila Prabhupada and munificence of our spiritual masters, so many of them that we have in our society, who are giving so freely the understanding of Radha and Krishna. And today's today's discussion will be incomplete if we don't really understand the great debt that we own to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In the form of the gift. I mean, that because what he has given us is the supreme gift. And he's asked for something. Bharata bhumile manusya janma hoya jar janma sartha kari kar paropkar. So please let us seriously work upon this process of anartha nivritti. Purify our hearts seriously and let there not be any anarthas coming in our heart again. Let us always remain away from these anarthas. It's not that this process works once and then you don't have to be worried. You have to constantly focus on cleaning your heart. And while cleaning your heart, while doing Janma Sarthak, Kar Paropkar. This world is really heading to a great disaster, is it not? We are heading to a great disaster. The world, much more than ever, we are realizing. Even the people who have no understanding of Godhead, they are realizing the world is heading to a disaster. In the places wherever we go, all the countries, there's practically the country are becoming paupers. We have never heard of countries becoming paupers. I mean, the country has no money. What sort of situation is that? Economic complete instability, political instability. But bhajahu hari pada niti re. Idhana yavana putra parijana ite kiyaja paratiti re. Kamala dala jala jivana talamala bhajahu hari pada niti re. The only niti, the only good thing that we can have is to worship Krishna. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Aniche aushadhi maya nashi barulagi. I've got this medicine, but you take it and you give it to others also. So let us really appreciate the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, understand his glory, understand the wonderful pastimes that we heard, the pastime of Keshav Kashmir, the pastime. We had a couple of other pastimes, the wonderful pastime of Chand Kazi. We all know the wonderful pastime. Chand Kazi was Kamsa, who came as Chand Kazi. Krishna just, brutally killed him when he was Kamsa. But the way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit dealt with Chand Kazi was an astounding story which we'll leave for some other time. Where he took this powerful Harinam Sankirtan of millions of devotees with millions of torchlights, and he didn't kill Chand Kazi, but he completely converted him. Champak, his name was, his pet name, Champak, because that was his name. That's why we have this beautiful Samadhi of Chand Kazi. The Champaka tree is growing together with the neem tree, showing the wonderful friendship of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nimai Pandit and Chand Kazi. But this was the magnanimity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not to kill the person, but to remove, not to hate the disease. I mean, not to hate the disease, but to hate the disease. To love the diseased. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't hate Chand Kazi, but he removed the disease from his heart and made him pure devotee of the Lord. So that is the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let us understand it. And the best way to really celebrate the magnanimity of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is by having Harinam Sankirtan, which we will have very soon by chanting of the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it is 2:45, and as per this notice, we should end at 2:45. So we like to end. Thank you very, very much. Thus, we have completed the incarnation series of all the incarnations, and what a wonderful, a few places that we went and we discussed that at Radha Gopinath we are doing this series, and people feel so inspired. Oh, it is so wonderful facility that you have in your temples to hear one after another series of the different incarnations. So we are most fortunate that we have gone through all the series of the 10 incarnations. And please keep coming to the Sunday Fish program and nourish yourself with more and more Krishna Katha. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi.